Go grab your tea because I'm about to spill some. You know those cute little backyard homes? Well, I have something to tell you that no one else is really talking about. A ton of them are totally illegal, like not on paper, under the radar. Hope the city doesn't find out illegal. And people are building them anyway because they have to. Hey, I am Laura Lalaki, known as the Realty Goddess. I am an international real estate agent. I've been in the business since 2006. I love educating you on buying and selling homes. I've been doing it a long time. So stick around and let's talk about something that's pretty hot right now, especially in a time when housing is so hard right now. So let's get into it. Now, I sell mostly in California, Florida, Kentucky, all across the United States of America, and also in Portugal. But as you know, big cities like Los Angeles are having a really hard time with housing. But here's the wild part. Some cities have three times more unpermitted homes than legal ones. And one homeowner ended up with a squatter who stayed for 570 days rent free. Why? Well, because the unit wasn't legal and she knew it. Yeah, this ADU thing is pretty messy. It's also pretty risky, but it's happening everywhere. So let's break down what's going on and what no one is warning you about. Everyone is obsessed with ADUs, but not everyone is playing by the rules. Here's why illegal backyard units are everywhere and what's being done about it. So, ADUs are called accessory dwelling units, or granny flats, or backyard cottages, whatever, she sheds, whatever you want to call them, have quietly really become one of the biggest success stories in California housing. Thanks to legislation passed in 2017, it's now easier, well, at least on paper anyway, to build one. And build them we have. In 2023 alone, 22,802 ADUs were constructed in California, making up one in every five new homes statewide. Now let's zoom in on San Jose, and the growth is even more striking. Just 38 permitted ADUs were built in 2016. By 2023, that number exploded to 470. That's what happens when demand meets legislative reform. But don't just pop that champagne bottle yet. The side hustle of housing that are legal ADUs might not be worth it. So here's the twist. While legal ADUs are on the rise, the real boom is happening underground. Now, a study from Stanford and MIT found that illegal or informal ADUs actually outnumber legal ones more than 3 to 1, especially in San Jose. So let that sink in a little bit, because between 2016 and 2020, the city saw 291 legal detached ADUs. At the same time, roughly 1,045 illegal ones sprang up like a stealthy little mushroom, the good kind. But why are people going rogue? Are they going rogue? No. Most homeowners aren't anti regulation rebels, they're just stuck. The road to a legal ADU is paved with a lot of permitting cost, bureaucratic gridlock, and housing desperation. Yeah, that's quite the common thing in California. So, who are the usual suspects with this? Well, permitting is pricey and it's very complicated. And for many, especially in the lower income and minority neighborhoods, the official process is simply out of reach. Now, what else is the problem? Well, the housing crisis is not slowing down. It's not slowing down. Let me give you an example. Before we had COVID, I was losing a lot of weight. I learned to walk and I learned to jog, and I had a regular path to do in my neighborhood of San Pedro, California. By the end of COVID, I no longer could take those same paths because of the homeless tented villages that had sprung up in just that short time. So you can't tell me that the housing crisis isn't slowing down. So, for many of the low and middle income families, an unpermitted ADU might be the only feasible way to house relatives or earn income in a wildly unaffordable market. You see, in their eyes, the math makes sense. What doesn't? The risks? Um, no. At that time, they're thinking, catch me if you can. But here's the high price of going under the radar. And here's what homeowners with illegal ADUs are really facing. And it's more than just a slap on the wrist. Number one, they're playing with safety roulette. Unpermitted units are far more likely to skip essential safety standards such as gas appliances in sleeping areas, blocked exits, faulty wiring. Not just illegal, but dangerous. Number two, no insurance, no peace of mind. If that sketchy unit catches fire, your insurance won't cover a thing. You're left paying out of the pocket for damages that could total six figures. Three, you can't sell that risk. Mm-mm. Selling a property with an unpermitted ADU is a nightmare. Buyers don't want your legal baggage, and banks won't finance it either. So you may have a buyer that goes, "Ooh, this is a bonus. Let's do it." But you don't have the paperwork to back it up and show that it's been permitted. It doesn't matter if they like that or not. The loan may not cover the house because of that illegal ADU. And guess what? Guess what? Guess what? And don't be surprised. Tenants can flip the script. Here's the thing that gets really wild in Los Angeles. An Airbnb guest squatted for 570 days in an unpermitted ADU. Now, she claims she didn't owe rent because the unit lacked a legal occupancy permit. And she wasn't wrong. The homeowner couldn't evict her until she handled that headache. So she couldn't evict her under the tenant protections because there weren't any. That's not just a headache, but that is a full blown legal migraine. Also, cities can't count them. Like San Jose is aiming to build 62,200 new housing units by 2031. But guess what? Illegal ADUs don't count toward that target, meaning that all the hidden housing, it's totally invisible on paper. Also, listen, legalization equals expensive reality checks. What you mean, Lala? What you mean? Make it plain. If you get caught, cities can force you to legalize or demolish the unit. And either way is actually pretty brutal. So let's give you another example of that. There's a gentleman by the name of Larry, and he bought a home in East Palo Alto with an unpermitted red tag, danger will rob us from danger ADU. The city gave him two options: bring it up to code or tear it down. Now, he chose to legalize it, and it nearly broke the bank. It was $4,000 for an inspector, $13,000 for a designer, and that was just for the plans. So the total cost of that illegal ADU turning it legal turned into 140,000, even with a low interest loan and a nonprofit support. But still, Larry says if you have the right support, you can do the right thing. Now that's true, but most people don't have that luxury of an extra $140,000 laying around. So, where is the bright spot in this? Because listen, I'm not trying to scare you from anything. I am not an attorney, but I can tell you what I see in these real estate streets. And honestly, you should always choose to do the right thing because it's not worth the headache down the road. So, here is a little bit of a bright spot because ADUs have an amnesty to the rescue. Well, sort of. It's California. Go figure. Some cities like San Jose are finally getting smart about the reality of the illegal ADUs. So enter the ADU Amnesty Program. Now, it's a pilot initiative that offers a penalty free path to legalize illegal units. Now, what makes that something that you may want to consider? Units only need to meet the building codes from when they were built, not today's, which are much stricter and have more standards. Now, there's a $300,000 fund, and it could be less by now, whatever time you're reading this, to help financially struggling homeowners cover permitting costs. Now, listen, that's a start, but it surely ain't a slam dunk. And also, by the time you're watching this, it may or may not still be in place. So, check your local law and check your local building codes. But advocacy groups like Casita Coalition say that these programs still need a lot of work. They want to focus on making units safe, but not forcing them to be perfect. So, Dennis Pinkston puts it, if you don't make it easy to build housing and people need the income, they're going to do it anyway, right? So, here's the bottom line, this isn't just a permitting problem, it's a symptom of a broken housing system. People are taking matters into their own hands because the official route is too expensive, it's too slow, or it's simply inaccessible. It's messy, it's risky, but it's also reality. Tea spilled. That's a lot to swallow. So the next time you notice a suspiciously cozy shed in someone's backyard, don't assume it's just for tools. It might be a home, one that lives in legal limbo, but meets a very real need. So are you trying to make sense of this housing world, or do you just want to make smarter and more confident moves with your home, money, or future plans? I got a whole collection of free tools, resources, and real talk waiting for you. All you got to do is visit my website for free downloads and guides and practical advice to help you stay ahead, whether you're buying, building, or just brainstorming for right now. Because it's fun to brainstorm, because those things actually turn into reality. And don't forget to join my conversation in my free Facebook group called Road to Home. It's where real people share honest experiences. I do some training, I share great things with you. You can ask questions, and we can support one another on this wild ride of home ownership and everything that comes in between. So if this post hits home, pun intended, like, share, and subscribe. Because navigating the housing world doesn't have to be lonely or boring. I am Laura Lalaki, international real estate agent, and I look forward to handing you keys to your new home. Now go be a good human. You never know when a smile is going to save somebody's life. Peace out. Sugar. Bye.